This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with a daily wrestling news update. But quickly, before I get into the daily wrestling news, I'll just put up this clip from the Amber Nova versus Selena De La Renta Great North Wrestling match that is currently on the Hannibal TV. It's actually the first Great North Wrestling match of 2020. And as I've already stated, the Forest of Fear is going to be back next month, and there's going to be more footage coming. And as soon as I'm allowed to promote in front of fans, I will. But Canada's pretty far behind, but I won't rant on that. Raw did its lowest rating since December 19th, 0.48. NXT did a 0.19. And Fightful reported that WWE has cut 8 wrestlers and more are expected. I've never heard of any of these wrestlers, by the way. Kavita Devi, Jessamine Duke, Azara Judge, Skylar Story, Vanessa Bourne, Alexander Wolf, and referee Drake Wirtz and Jake Clemens. They've all been released. A lot of these names I can't even pronounce. There's a main issue if you can't get over as a wrestler. And I know WWE chooses their wrestlers' names, but like it should be easy to pronounce. Today would have been Andre the Giant's 75th birthday, by the way, and it's also the lovely Hollywood from Glow's birthday. The Glow original Hollywood, my favorite Glow cast member, and I've done a bunch of interviews with her. She still looks great. She sent me some Halloween themed soap last year too. That was really nice. Greg Furrell says because WWE is crap. Alan Kesselman, will Blaze be back? Yes. I mean, Great North Wrestling personnel are all independent contractors, but nobody from Great North Wrestling has changed. We're always going to improve the roster, but Jeremy Prophet's still the Canadian champion. Lufisto is still the women's champion of Canada. And of course, Blaze is going to be back. And I think we might be hearing from Blaze this weekend. I heard some rumblings that she might have something to say this weekend. So make sure you subscribe to the Hannibal TV. Why are ratings so bad? Well, they did a really lame zombie thing one reason the night before where and I don't even just think the zombie thing is lame. That's one thing, okay? I don't care. My friend who killed himself, Tim Arson, played the zombie that Sandman beat up on the very first ECW show. I don't have anything against zombies, but from what I saw of the match and the fights they had with the zombie, it looked so fake. So fake. And then you combine that with the fake crowd ooh and ahs that they insist on piping in. I'd rather have no crowd sound and hear chops and forearms and slaps and smacks than fake crowd sound. There's nothing worse than that. The match looked fake. And then they had The Miz doing the media rounds this week when he's supposed to be eaten alive. So this is why people think wrestling is stupid. Yes, they're talking about it, but not in a good way. If people are watching that, it's not in a good way. It's because they've heard it's dumb. And no, Miz getting eaten by the zombie is not as stupid as The Undertaker. For MVP that compared it to The Undertaker being a dead man. Not at all. And The Undertaker was over. The Undertaker is a phenom and one of the best gimmicks in the. How could you compare arguably the best gimmick in the history of wrestling to Miz getting eaten by zombies? I know he works for them, so whatever. Yes, Alan, AEW is expanding its programming. I forgot. They're adding a Friday night show, and they already have like so many matches every week. Countless AEW dark matches. And I don't even want to watch one AEW match, let alone another show, and there's already so much wrestling on TV. And I hear now, I actually heard it in one of the Kevin Sullivan podcasts that I posted today. I posted 2 Kevin Sullivan Taskmaster Talks podcasts with John Paz. And in one of them, they were talking about Tony Khan has said he's going to be an on-air character on one of the shows now. And I just think it's funny because when they first announced AEW, they said it was going to go back to old school classic wrestling, and everyone thought it was going to be like the original NWA. And I remember Tony Khan said he was not going to be an on-air character. He was not going to get in the ring. Well, remember how many months was it before he got in the ring and stunned somebody? Stunned one of the heels, gave them a stunner. Then he starts appearing on Impact as an on-air character. And by the way, even with the AEW influx into Impact, ratings are still in the 0.04s. And now I guess he's going to be another on-air authority figure in AEW, but not on Dynamite. Right now, he's saying he'll never do it on Dynamite, just like he'd never be in the ring, just like he'd never be an on-air character. And how long have they been in business? Has it been 2 years? I guess it has. I don't know. Anyways, if you like WWE or you like AEW, fine. It actually angers me to watch it, so I have tried to avoid watching it at all costs. Do another interview with Amber Nova? Probably will. Probably will. I actually like her as a person. She's a very nice person and a very hard working person. And she has been in AEW. She has been doing AEW dark stuff recently too. But one thing I liked about the match between Amber Nova and Selena De La Renta today was very good technical wrestling. And it was the most fire I've seen Amber show at the end of a match. And I haven't seen all that many of her matches, but I think she's improving. So that's great to see. I think she's only been wrestling since 2016 or something. Someone says Papa Shango putting a curse on the Ultimate Warrior. At least they didn't say he was dead. At least they didn't say he was dead. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, SGR 7TH, I was in grade 3 during that angle. Actually, one of those angles where Shango had the Warrior get the black paint down his face actually took place at a Superstars taping right here at the Ottawa Civic Center where I wrestled in later years. But I was there as a kid. And the arena was packed for that taping. Nearly 10,000 people. And the angle was over. Papa Shango was over. I remember when they brought him back as Kama Mustafa, I was so mad because the rumor was Papa Shango was returning. And I was so excited Papa Shango was going to return. And it ended up being Kama. And everyone knows on here, I'm a big Ultimate Warrior fan, so I'll defend that. Definitely. City of Roses says Tony Khan is a fucking goof. What about the Taskmaster is a great mind? I agree. Underutilized. Very much so underutilized. Mark, one of my buddies from Dallas, says that Tony Khan an on-air character. That's insane. What about that? This is also true. AEW was supposed to be sports-based wrestling. They've had people wrestling in panda suits. They've had some really weird and bizarre stuff in AEW. Colonel Quail is high. Well, I must say I had something earlier as well. And by the way, this is a weed grinder, which is legal here in Canada, by the way. William says, when The Undertaker showed up, I thought, what the hell happened to Percy Pringle? Oh, you forget that Brother Love was the original manager. Paul Bear didn't show up until later. And I remember when I was a kid, I don't know about you guys, you can write it in the comments, but everyone thought that Paul Bear was just Brother Love in different makeup when Paul Bear came onto the scene, because he took over the Brother Love show with the Funeral Parlor too. And they were similar builds. They both had makeup on. So I remember a lot of people actually thought for the longest time, because the internet wasn't around then, that Brother Love was actually Paul Bear, which of course he wasn't. Kung Fu has given up on wrestling. Well, I'm glad you still follow the news and interviews like me. I'm similar. And when I can promote again, and even before I can promote again, even I'll do whatever I can to try and get something going with wrestling that people can respect and be proud of, because there's no one doing it. And somebody needs to at least try it, because the fans are still out there. I get millions and millions and millions and millions of hits a month. I know the fans are still out there, but they're fans of the old stuff. They like the shoot interviews. And yeah, a lot of you still like to know the news. It is interesting to see how the business of wrestling is doing. Kung Fu did not like the zombie match. David Miles could not stand Brother Love growing up. He did a good job playing the part. I loved the Brother Love show. I remember when they were talking about bringing it back in the 90s, but it ended up only being like a couple of Raw things in the ring. I was so excited. And then to find out that they weren't actually bringing it back was really disappointing. Cameron Nightoff, thoughts of Roman Reigns as a heel? I have not watched WWE in forever. I only watched the zombie thing because it's been the talk of the internet over the past few days. And I am a wrestling reporter. When people are talking about it that much, I got to watch it. Roman Reigns as a heel, people aren't talking about it that much. I can't even tell you a match that Roman Reigns has had that I can remember recently. I haven't paid that close attention, but I like Roman Reigns, by the way. I do like him. Definitely, he's probably, since Brock Lesnar isn't on the roster right now, he's probably the top guy in WWE, I would say. Randy Orton's been around a while, but I would say Roman Reigns is better known to mainstream than Randy Orton, even though he's nowhere near the level John Cena was. But I have no issues with Roman Reigns. I would have loved to have wrestled him, to be perfectly honest with you. And I actually like his whole family, because I do know some of his family members. I even know some of The Rock's family members. I've interviewed his mom. I've interviewed his father. Thank God I got one before he passed. I was supposed to actually do a part 2 the February that he passed. He passed in January, so it's unfortunate. Mark believes that a credible, serious product would be good. I think so too, and a more cool product would be good. It's not cool to get eaten by zombies in a match that looks really fake, where the punches aren't connecting and it's just fake crowd noise. and then you break kayfabe the next day, like it's just a big joke. Maybe if it had actually got popular, it was, by the way, for anyone that didn't get my news report, WWE's pay-per-view last weekend, the one with the zombies, it did not make the top 100 Google searches last weekend. That is the first United States pay-per-view, according to reports, that didn't make the top 100 Google searches. So anyways, Dr. Smith X is not a fan of new wrestling. Brother Love was great. David Miles, $9.99 super sticker. I appreciate it. I'm working on a bunch of new interviews. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m., Jason Sensation, speaking of the Attitude Era. By the way, we stream all of these on Twitch at Great North Wrestling, Facebook at the Hannibal TV as well. Make sure you like our Facebook page. We are on Instagram at the Hannibal TV as well, Twitter at the Hannibal TV. And I am on Twitter at Devon Hannibal, DEVON HANNIBAL. I will follow you back if you DM me, because there's a lot of fake people out there. He never wants to go to our country. I'm going to seriously leave Canada if this keeps up. I'm not going to be last here if this keeps up. This is repression, and it's stupid. I'm fully vaccinated. By the way, I've had 3 tests in the last 10 days, and I've been negative, and I've been vaccinated. So why do I have to be stuck in my house? I don't know. Thank you, Chris. Have a great night, everybody. I really appreciate all of you.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates.